Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. In what is probably the world's most comprehensive technology intervention, a worldwide consortium of some of the globe's best-known technological names are collaborating to introduce automated, blast-free continuous gold mining at depths 5 kilometers underground. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer is in the studio to tell us more about this amazing technology. Martin, can you give us a brief background on this breaking news story?
Yeah, well, the background is that our gold industry, from a production point of view, has been tanking. You know, we used to be the world's biggest producer of gold, and there's just been a steady decline. If you go over the hill where we're sitting here now to Rand Refinery, you'll find they've got a capacity to produce, to refine, you know, like 1,000 tons of gold. And at the moment, South Africa is barely going over the 200-ton mark. So we've really fallen behind very badly, and one of the reasons is that our mines are getting deeper, and we got a longer traveling time to the rock face. We only spend about 10 hours of the day under there because you first got to prepare for the blast, then you've got to vacate the mine, and then you can't return to the mine until after the blast because of all the fumes. So there is definitely a great need for a new technology to mine totally differently.
What does gold mining company AngloGold Ashanti plan to do with this new technology? And is it technology that they will be developing?
You know, the best brains in the world are being assembled for this technology. That's the exciting part of it. You know, AngloGold Ashanti has had these programs before, these technology programs. The one ended, I think, in 2003, but it was still based on the old blast and batch principle. They've realized they've got to get away from blasting if they're going to make any progress. So they're looking for technologies that can cut the reef. They want to be able to cut the reef mechanically so that you can cut it 24 hours a day, you know, 365 days a year, and we can hear the Bill Haley song rock around the clock in our ears.
Yes. Now, you've mentioned that there'll be blast-free mining and peopleless stopes.
Yes.
How on earth will they do this?
Well, they've got, I was just on the line to Robbins in the United States a few minutes ago, and I've realized that, you know, the mechanical cutting of rock, that technology has advanced by leaps and bounds since the mines were looking at it past. And that's just one of the companies in this consortium of 30 companies with 80 participants. So the idea is that you will cut the gold out of the rock. So it'll just be the reef that you cut. It's called reef, that gold-bearing rock. And then you will backfill virtually immediately. So the rock will hardly know that you've removed the gold, and you'll make the mine much safer. You know, in the past, we used to balk at the idea of narrow stopes, these narrow veins, because you had to get down on your stomach, you know, to try and get in there. And it was always a restriction. Now they're saying, no, the smaller the better, because we can cut these smaller pieces of reef, this gold out, without any dilution, and then we backfill it. So that is the thinking behind it, and this can go on round the clock. And of course they will also step up, because there's been a big advances as well in the logistics. You know, your vertical transport, your horizontal transport, they can also do a lot with that. But the big thing is that you're getting the biggest names in the world coming into this. Among the 30 companies, we have General Electric. You know, so if you need smaller electric motors or whatever you need, they can do it. There's 3M, there's DuPont. I mean, collectively, these people spend billions of dollars a year on research and development that the whole South Africa won't even come within a fraction of what they just spend collectively every year, and that's just the 3 companies. The beauty of this consortium is that they're also smaller, more nimble companies, anxious to get an entrepreneurial edge here. So you've got the big companies, the big research thinking, and you also got the nimble, smaller players, and many in between. So I think this is a promising formula that they've got to really, for once and for all, crack this great big task of having to go 5 kilometers underground. 5 kilometers underground to get gold. And the interesting thing is that as they go deeper and they're beyond the, you know, the 3.7 kilometer mark now, the grades actually get better. So your gold grades get better. They're even coining the phrase now that we're going to have gold on tap.
Now also you've mentioned that it'll be safer. So what do they plan to do in the interim period before this technology is introduced?
Yeah, there are going to be some quick wins as well. You know, they're talking about a 5-year paradigm there, and that always makes journalists sort of think, oh no, not again, you know, this is going to take 5 years. 5 years of mining, in fact, is not that long. But they're also anxious to have quick wins along the way. So you have various pieces of equipment underground, and you can actually automate those, because they're thinking of a total automation here. You know, at the stopes, the stopes will be automated and peopleless. But along the way, there are also various bits of equipment that you can start automating. You can start dealing with issues that perhaps kill equipment that kills people and things like that. You can make it safer in a series of steps that lead to this big vision, but they take place well before the big vision. So you've got quick wins along the way.
Well, I look forward to developments on that.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Martin. That's the show for today. Join us again next time for more news and insight into what's happening in the mining world.